everybody. Let's have some more news. I've got some updates. If you remember, a long time ago, we were talking about Spanish Springs. I went up there, I'd done all kinds of video about the Rialto Theater, and nothing's being done, no construction work's being done, and I talked about some rumors that was going around, and around here, rumors run wild. They just run wild. I have an announcement from the Daily Sun today. Big evolution ahead for Spanish Springs. The next phase of ongoing revitalization is coming to Spanish Springs Town Square with new retail, entertainment, and lifestyle options just around the corner. Spanish Springs is a key part of our community, and we are working to ensure it stays healthy and filled with the services and activities residents enjoy. Its 28-year history is one of re-innovation, and we're committed to adapting for the reuse that residents want. Genesis Health Club, which acquired 2 clubs in the Villages in May, announced today that it will move its Spanish Springs operations into the new experience in the nearby Rialto building. The company plans include a nutritional area, juice bar, a smoothie shop that will be open to the general public, in addition to fitness upgrade for members. I've already announced how the 2 bowling alleys were sold out. Who knows what the future holds for those bowling alleys? As far as revitalization plans, maybe adding some things on, like a restaurant inside the bowling alley, stuff like that. Drink of the day. I'm having me some white wine. I know I'm rambling here. We ain't even got to the news yet. Thanks, Kelly. For Kansas City, Kansas, I got it over there. I'm not wearing it during the news. I think I'm going to wear that hat when the W&L show happens at the end of this month. So thank you for the police hat. I appreciate it. I love all of the first responders hats that I get sometimes. A drunk driving suspect was arrested after crashing into a parked Cadillac at the Village's golf cars. A witness was watching as a black 2021 Chevrolet driven by 58-year-old Sharon Denise Bryan of Ocala crashed into the Cadillac at about 5 p.m. Friday at the Village's golf cars at Wildwood. The witness also told police that bystanders had to help Bryan out of her car because she could not get out on her own. Bryan's speech was slurred, and her clothing and appearance was sloppy and untidy. An out-of-stater having trouble with her lawn at her home in the Villages won sympathy from officials hearing her deed compliance case. The home of Betty Reeser at 716 East Bourne Lane in the Village of Charlotte was the subject of a public hearing Monday afternoon before Community Development District 9 Board of Supervisors at Seabreeze Rec Center. A complaint was lodged on June 9 with community standards about bare spots in the backyard of Reeser's home. She told community standards a water line to her irrigation system was broken, therefore the lawn was not being watered. A New Yorker was arrested after her golf cart mishap at Cody's Original Roadhouse at Brownwood in the Villages. Diane Tompkin, 62, of Port Jefferson, New York, was found by Community Watch at about 11:30 p.m. Saturday with her golf cart stuck on the fence. Stuck on the fence. I guess you have to see the fence around there. I don't know how she got stuck on it. Oh. Wait a minute, I'm lost. Wildwood Police Department officers asked how her golf cart ended up there, and she told them she didn't know. She was just sitting in a daze, the report said. Tompkin admitted she had consumed 4 drinks containing vodka. She told the police she has diabetes. A check of her blood sugar showed that it was normal. She nearly fell multiple times. Her blood alcohol was 0.197 and 0.192. Decorative rock put down 6 years ago without the approval of ARC will have to be removed from a rental villa in the Villages. The villa at 3401 Corbella Court in the Corbella Villas in the Village of Collier was the subject of public hearing Monday afternoon before the Community Development District 10 Board of Supervisors. The renter discovered the issue when a letter arrived from Community Standards regarding the deed compliance violation. The rock was put down 6 years ago. The renter has been living in the home for 2 years. Remember, I've showed you many many videos driving around the neighborhood and I point these things out. And I know a lot of people wonder why I'm talking about what they might consider to be nonsensical stuff. If you're going to take your grass out, especially in the front part of your building, wherever you live, especially in the village, and put in rock or put in artificial grass, you better get ARC's permission. You may get by with it like this one did for 6 years, but then the original owner sold it and moved out. Everybody liked that person. That's why they never complained. New people move in. Now we complain. Now it's got to be taken out. And the excuse of, well, it was there when I bought it, means nothing. The excuse of, well, it's been here for 6 years, means nothing. Now it's going to cost you thousands of dollars to have this dug out and to put in new sod. Community Development District 4 supervisors are nervous about $75,000 of uncollected D-compliance fines. The long list of uncollected fines include a home at 17479 Southeast 82nd Pekin Terrace in the village of Chatham has $23,711 in unpaid fines due to violations including mold and a tarp on the roof. There are a total of $19,000 in fines at 17155 Southeast 70th McLaren Terrace in the village of Calumet Grove due to violations including mold, dead grass, and weeds. McLaren Terrace, I believe 2 years ago they had a couple of large sinkholes open up on McLaren Terrace. Just between me and you and the gate post, I wouldn't buy anything up there. Just saying. The concern is being expressed at a time when CDD4 residents are facing a 20% increase in their maintenance assessments. I don't blame them a bit. It's ridiculous. The Wildwood Police Department's new golf cart is officially on patrol. Don't make fun of them. Lady Lake had one too. And a lot of people thought it was just there for looks, just to draw attention. This is an official vehicle. Officer Dave Perry of the police department said the golf cart will strictly be used for community outreach and offers a way in which to engage with the public. Yeah, they're going to engage with you, all right. Villagers are likely to see the new golf cart in use south of State Road 44 and in the Brownwood area. However, he said the golf cart will not be used to catch speeders. Oh, sure. Yeah, okay. Or for other more traditional law enforcement purposes. A 40-year-old Leesburg woman died Sunday night at the scene of a hit and run on Rolling Acres Road in Lady Lake. Her 31-year-old male companion was airlifted from the scene. Rolling Acres Road is a two-lane road. I've expressed my opinions about these two-lane roads 100 times. I'm going to do it again. I'm never going to stop, even though people disagree with me. I wouldn't ride a bike on a two-lane road around here. I wouldn't walk on a two-lane road around here. And this is the reason why. A suspected shoe thief and her companion with a gun were arrested at Belk in the Villages. Patricia Sally Schubert, 37 of Fruitland Park, entered the store at La Plaza Grande on Sunday afternoon and went to the men's shoe department where she selected 3 pairs of Hey Dude shoes, according to the arrest report. She took the shoes into the fitting room where she concealed them in her purse. The South Carolina native walked out of the store without paying for the items, which had a total value of $130. She got into a vehicle where she was taken into custody by the police department. A canine alerted on the vehicle, and it was discovered that she had 1 gram of marijuana and a glass pipe. Justin Colt Affleck, 35, who lives with Schubert, was also in the vehicle. He was found to be in possession of a loaded firearm with extra ammunition in the vehicle. He did not possess a concealed weapons permit. A 79-year-old woman who was reportedly so intoxicated she fell to the floor was arrested after an altercation in the village of Tall Trees. Mary Patricia Jewersh was arrested late Sunday night on a charge of battery. A Village of Finney driver who was pulled over for speeding was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. Richard Seeley, 80, was driving a silver 2014 Ford Edge with Georgia license plates at about 7 p.m. Monday when he was caught on radar traveling 49 miles per hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone on Marsh Boulevard near Rohan Recreation Center. That's speeding, but let me tell you, that's so common on the roads here, 35 mile an hour, people running 45 all the time. A homeowner who has not responded to correspondence from the village's district government is facing fines over her unkept property. The situation was deemed to be such a serious threat to the public that the Community Development District 5 Board of Supervisors took emergency cleanup action last month at the home of 2424 Due West Drive in the village of Lynn Haven. The home was the subject of a follow-up public hearing Tuesday morning before the board at Seabreeze Recreation Center. The owner is Janet Pritchard, who purchased a home in 2014 for $195,000. Janet, hire somebody for $40 or $50 to mow that grass. Trim them bushes will cost you another $120, $130. Have a low pressure works come out and clean the house. That's another $70. This is nickel dime stuff. And you can sell this house for probably $300,000 or $400,000. That's today's rate. What's the matter with you? Quit being stupid. An official has issued a warning that the free roof solicitors have returned to the villages. Community Development District 5 Chairman Gary Cato issued the warning at the Board of Supervisors meeting Tuesday morning at Seabreeze Rec Center. He said they have been going door to door in his neighborhood in the village of Lynn Heaven. They came to me and offered me a free roof. If they have looked up, they would have seen I didn't need one. This is what they're complaining about. This is why the insurance companies are pulling out, that and hurricanes. Just say no. Just like drugs. Just say no. Sumter County Commissioners Tuesday night approved a $313 million tentative budget that cuts the property tax rate while increasing expenditures. Final adoption of the 22-23 budget, which takes effect October 1st, is scheduled for September 27th. The proposal property tax rate of $5.59 per 1,000. Assessed valuation is less than 1% below the rollback rate, which is the amount needed to collect the same revenue as the prior year, excluding new construction. Under Florida law, setting the rate higher than the rollback rate is a tax increase. Sumter County will collect about $95 million in property taxes next year. That's funny. They just had a meeting. I'm not going to talk about it, but they just had a meeting to discuss tax increase. Let me tell you what I know about politicians. I don't care what level of politicians. They're all full of shit. A deceased villager's home in Foreclosure has been found in violation of deed compliance. The home of 808 Hilda Way in the Virginia Vines Villas in the village of Sable Chase was the subject of deed compliance hearing Tuesday morning. A complaint was received June 27th about overgrown grass, weeds, shrubs, and dirt on the home. The homeowner, David B. J., is deceased according to the testimony provided at the public hearing. The property is in foreclosure through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. There you go, people. There's your deal right there. Get a hold of whoever you got to get a hold of, buy that thing, fix it up, and the neighbors will love you. Letter to the editor. We have a lot of renters, and the villages should not be involved unless there is a problem with someone. It's the owner's management problem to really fix. That simple. Sent in by Mariana Pazianza, village of Chitty Chitty. I don't disagree with you, Mary, and they're not going to do anything. You're assuming something right here that's never been said. I've said this before. This is my biggest complaint about a lot of people. They compare apples to oranges all the time, and they hear what they want to hear. They're not listening. Nobody's ever said anything about the villages. I'm not sure who the villages is. The villages is the name of our city. We can only assume people say the villages are always talking about the developer. He can't tell you what to do with your private property. I guess everybody's assuming that he has control of the speed limits. He has control over the laws. He has no control over any of that. You got to use your common sense. But I do know that as far as renters go, here's the biggest problem that I know of. A lot of people are turning these properties over to property management companies. And I've always said, I got no problem with that. Pick a good one and give them criteria of what is acceptable in your property, in your house. And that's it. They have to go by that. It's your property. But most of these, they'll rent them to anybody. They don't care. If somebody is willing to sign this paper for 6 months and that's what they're looking for, put them in there. And it's just not right. And so I've always said, if you're going to rent your house out, do it in a proper way. Have respect for your neighbors, even though you don't live here. And the corporate people that come down here and they'll buy a block of them patio villas, turn it over to their management company that they own, and they rent them out to anybody. They don't care who, anybody. 75-year-old villager is seeking release from jail after violating her probation in connection with a recent drunk driving conviction. Carolyn Wallace Chandler, who lives in the Quail Ridge Villas in the village of Briar Meadow, continues to be held without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. The Lakeshore Cottages pool at Lake Sumter Landing of the villages was transformed into a scenic Hawaiian resort in celebration of a birthday of Village of Fenny resident Tita Dumagsa. D-U-M-A-G-S-A. The party was held Sunday and planned by Feb Knoderer, K-N-O-D-E-R-E-R. Everyone was Hawaiian for the day with colorful Hawaiian costumes, leis, and crowns of flowers. Maria Luanig was the DJ who provided the beautiful Hawaiian music to set the mood. A sumptuous feast of island favorites followed. I think it's a happy birthday. Here's to you guys. Lawrence Harry Wash, 79, of the village of Springdale, was driving a white 2019 Nissan Sentra in the wee hours Wednesday morning when he ran a stop sign at the Old Mill Run at Lakeshore Drive and Lake Sumter Landing, according to the arrest report. You know, that's very commonplace. There's so much that happens right there on that corner. If you're coming in, I can't think of the name of the road, but on one side of City Fire, right there on the corner, people will turn left on that road. It's a one-way road, and they'll turn left and go the wrong way down that road. I don't know why. I've never really paid attention. Is it lack of proper signs? I'm not sure. Also, people run that stop sign constantly there on the north and south end. When you come in from Lake Sumter from the other end, it's a stop sign. You have to turn right or left. You cannot go straight. There's a sign that says do not enter. And people will turn right there and never stop. I mean, it's like they don't even see the stop sign. And it's a regular stop sign. They just turn right and keep on going. And I'm sure the cops could just sit there all day and just have a field day, but they don't. It's a hit and miss thing. Just be careful, man. Just be careful, because if you're walking or whatever, these are the people that's going to run into you. A Village of DeLuna woman was arrested on a drunk driving charge after a crash in Oxford. Cynthia Lee Hook, 59, was involved in a traffic accident about 3 p.m. Tuesday on US 301 at County Road 216 near the new Dairy Queen restaurant in Oxford. A police officer could immediately detect the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from Hook, who was driving on a Virginia's driver's license. Hey, she had a driver's license. A hard plastic cup was found in her vehicle, and it contained the smell of alcohol. Hook refused to provide an adequate measurable breath sample, even though she was given 4 opportunities to do so. She was arrested and charged on driving under the influence, and she was released after posting a $500 bond. Community Development District 8 supervisors are closely monitoring reports of fence jumpers trespassing at the Village of Tamron Grove swimming pool. Dispatch logs from Community Watch revealed there was an incident on June 30th when a resident called in a concern about 2 females in the area with backpacks, but it was unknown if they lived close to or in the villages. Residents was transferred to the Sumter County Sheriff's Office to report the incident of suspicious persons. Another incident was reported on June 26 about kids at the Tamron Grove pool, which was directed to Sterling Heights Recreation Center staff to check on. The teenagers involved in that incident have not returned. Neither of these incidents specifically addressed individuals coming over the wall or fence. In addition, Recreation Department staffers are checking IDs 4 times per day at the Tamron Grove pool. Well, they say they are. I hope they are. Here's what you want to ask them. Do you check all IDs, even the ones that's in the pool? You know what they're going to tell you? No. If there's a bunch of kids that everybody knows don't live here, they know they don't, and they have instances. They know what I'm talking about. You guys may not, but they know what I'm talking about. When I say they, I'm talking about Rohan and his cronies down there. They know what I'm talking about. And as soon as the kids see this person come walking in with this machine hanging off the side, they all jump in the water because they know they will not ask them to get out of the pool to present them with any kind of proper ID. Figure that one out. It's okay. You can say that I'm just rambling. You haven't invested $500,000 on a house here and paying all these fees. When that day comes, you'll see. An Ohio woman driving a sport utility vehicle was arrested after turning in front of a police car in the villages. Brilliant. Allie Danielle Wagner, 36, of Wheelersburg, Ohio, was driving a white Chevrolet SUV with a Florida license plate at 11:42 p.m. Wednesday when she was at the intersection of U.S. Highway 27 and 441 and Griffin Road and turned right in front of a squad car in the left turn lane. Oh, God. During a traffic stop, Wagner said her Kentucky driver's license had been suspended due to an unpaid traffic ticket. Lee Daniel Wagner, 36, of Wheelersburg, Ohio, was driving a white Chevrolet SUV with a Florida license plate at 11:42 p.m. Wednesday when she was at the intersection of U.S. Highway 27 and 441 and Griffin Avenue and turned into the lane of travel of a squad car in the left turn lane. During a traffic stop, Wagner said her driver's license from Kentucky had been suspended due to an unpaid speeding ticket. A check with dispatch confirmed that Wagner's Kentucky driver's license had been suspended and a non-extraditable warrant had been issued for her after she skipped a court date. Wagner was arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. She was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $500 bond. Sumter County Animal Services enjoyed a successful adoption event Saturday to conclude Pet Appreciation Week at Tractor Supply in Bushnell. 3 dogs were adopted: Teddy Bear, Zenon, and Richie. Richie would have been at the shelter for a year if he had not been adopted. A man who lives with his parents in the Villages was arrested after he was found passed out in his father's vehicle near the entrance of the Village of Polo Club. It's not the Villages of Polo Club. Married you. The Villages of Polo Ridge. Somebody made a mistake. A woman had driven up behind the red 2017 Kia SUV with a Florida disabled veteran's license plate at about 9 p.m. Wednesday on Buena Vista Boulevard at Saddlebrook Lane, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. The Kia had a green light, but did not budge, prompting the woman to approach the driver's side window. I would never have done that. I would just drove around him. I would never have done that. You don't know who's in that car, what's going on. What are you doing walking up there? Driver, later identified as 52-year-old Michael Scott Griffin of the Village of Glenbrook, was slumped forward with his hands towards the floor, unresponsive. The woman banged on the window several times with no response. Griffin finally woke up and drove to the side of the road where he was found by the sheriff's deputies. Griffin was told by the deputies that Griffin told the deputies that he had taken his father's vehicle to get away and cool off. A canine unit was summoned to the scene and the dog alerted on the vehicle, indicating the likely presence of drugs. He was arrested on charges of driving under the influence and driving while license suspended. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center on $6,000 bond. A villager has been charged with stalking a man he met through an online dating application. Russell Edward Thompson, 53, who lives at 9571 Southeast 168th Elderberry Place in the village of Springdale, was arrested Friday afternoon on multiple charges by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies. A man who lives with his 73-year-old grandmother in the Villages met Thompson through an online dating application. Apparently, the relationship didn't work out, and the grandson reported receiving threatening messages from Thompson. Later that same month, the home's air conditioning suddenly stopped working, and the air conditioning repairman found that the breaker box beside the air conditioner condenser had been forcibly damaged. The repair cost $327.85. Later that month, the grandson was home alone when he heard another loud noise, leading to the discovery of fresh damage to the air conditioner unit. This time, the repair cost $152.15. Thompson was believed to have fled the residence in a red Jeep SUV. The vehicle and its license plate was captured on a community watch surveillance camera. Thompson, who stands 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighs 300 pounds, was also captured on surveillance and was wearing an orange shirt. Thompson consented to a phone interview, and the detective concluded that Thompson had a clear intent to harass the victim and the victim's family. The Petersburg, Virginia native was arrested on multiple charges, including stalking and criminal mischief. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $8,000 bond. Deputies chased down and arrested a resident of the Villages wanted in Pennsylvania. Paul Crowley Miller III, 41, who lives at 1611 Hilton Head Boulevard on the historic side of the Villages, was driving a Chrysler convertible with a Pennsylvania license plate shortly before 11 a.m. Thursday on County Road 466 near Buffalo Ridge Plaza, when a Sumter County Sheriff's deputy attempted to initiate a traffic stop. Miller initially pulled over at County Road 466 and Tatanka Terrace and gave the deputy a false name and bogus date of birth. That's dumb. Miller pulled away from the traffic stop but pulled over a second time at the nearby Aspen Dental office. Meanwhile, the deputy checked the information that Miller had provided, but it came back as a deceased person. Did any of you dumbasses go to school? I mean, really? Watch cops on TV. You'll learn a lot. He later apologized and admitted he was scared because a parole warrant had been issued in Pennsylvania. Miller was arrested on charges of resisting arrest, providing false information to law enforcement officer. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center, where a hold was put on his custody by the state of Pennsylvania. Good. Ship him out of here. Get him out of here. Popular entertainer Bobby Blackman will headline a local blues concert later this month with food trucks, beer, and wine. The event will be from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, September 24th at the Lady Lake Soccer Complex on Rolling Acres Road. Admission is free. In addition to Blackman, Backrat Smokehouse will be performing. Proceeds will benefit the Lady Lake Historical Museum and the Lady Lake Chamber of Commerce. Those of you that like blues, I like blues, Bobby Blackman is the real deal. He performed with great artists like Aretha Franklin way back in the day when blues was in. If you get to talk to Bobby, I did once when he did a performance at Lake Sumter Landing. I really would like to talk to him and video some information, get some stories from him. He's got them. If you like blues, Bobby Blackman is the guy to go see. The reason why the Villages doesn't have him here as a regular entertainer very much is it's really distressing to me, but it's not that he's not talented. It's not that he's very good at what he does. And it's not that he don't have the history to back it up. You can't line dance to blues. And that's why. Sad but true. Villagers are increasingly nervous about the flourishing short-term rental market in Florida's friendliest hometown and feel it is damaging its reputation. Turning the Villages into a major, open to the general public Airbnb enterprise will impact the change in the image of the Villages in a great negative way, in my opinion, said Catherine Danefeld of the Village of Osceola Hills. Earlier this month, residents of Community Development District 13 aired their complaints about short-term rentals to the Board of Supervisors. Let me just say this about rentals. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Welcome to the Villages. What you're complaining about, I've been talking about for years, and now you're catching up. Same thing with some of the other things that I've pointed out that some of you point fingers and go, oh, that's not a big deal. Oh, that's not a big deal. Well, it's not a big deal yet. You haven't been here long enough. Once you are, then you're going to see what I'm talking about. Good luck. It's not going to get anywhere. The rentals here is going to get worse. They opened that door a long time ago. All the property that's around the Villages is being sucked up by corporations wanting to build apartment homes. The excuse is we need the people here to work. We don't have enough people here to work. Okay. A Village of Gilchrist woman who admitted she drank wine at a country club will lose her driver's license as a result of an arrest earlier this year. Elizabeth Williams Berry, 74, pleaded no contest last week in Sumter County Court to a charge of reckless driving, reduced from a charge of driving under the influence. She will lose her driver's license for 6 months, will be on probation for 1 year, and has been ordered to perform 30 hours of community service. A Villager's adult son arrested in 2020 on multiple child pornography charges will be sentenced next month. Kevin Paul Clark, 30, pleaded no contest to multiple child pornography charges earlier this month in Lake County Court. Sentence set for October 10th. Can I be on that sentencing department? I'll take full responsibility for throwing this guy in prison for life. Clark was arrested December 3rd, 2020 in his mother's home at 914 Privet Drive in the Village of Pine Ridge. A tip was received from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children that someone was uploading images depicting the sexual exploitation of a child. The Internet Protocol address was traced to the CenturyLink account at the home in the Fruitland Park section of the Villages. Thus, the reason why we had the chief of police from Fruitland Park on my WNL show, because part of the Villages is in Fruitland Park. A long-troubled 35-year-old son of a couple in the Villages has landed back behind jail after violating court order. Jeffrey Barrett Glattman was booked early Sunday morning at the Sumter County Detention Center. Bond was set at $10,000. Glattman had been arrested March 13, 2020 after he allegedly attacked his 74-year-old father at his home in the 2700 block of Morven Parkway in the Village of Belvedere. At the time of that arrest, Glattman had been free on bond following his arrest earlier in 2020 on charges of exposure of sexual organs and disorderly conduct. In that case, he was accused of exposing his sexual organs near a school bus stop at the Quarters Apartments in Lady Lake. In addition, Glattman also had been arrested after a bizarre incident at Cornerstone Hospice. That's what I'm saying. People keep bringing their kids here that have problems. They know they got problems, but they bring them here, and then they cause more problems in an old area of the Villages, even in hospice care. I mean, come on. This is sick.
Don't leave your keys in the golf cart.
That's all, folks.